Imagine that you were standing outside in the middle of the day, and all of a sudden it got dark. The stars came out, the temperature dropped, and night animals started to call. A few minutes later, the sun came out again and everything was back to normal. What happened? You just saw a solar eclipse. Ancient cultures were often frightened by eclipses. They did not understand why the sun became dark. Eclipses were seen as bad omens or predictions of bad luck or disaster. But today we know that eclipses are caused by the normal movement of the sun and the moon. There are actually 3 types of solar eclipses. First, there is the most widely known type of eclipse, a total solar eclipse. A total solar eclipse occurs when the sun, moon, and earth align in the perfect position, causing the shadow of the moon to fall on a small area of the earth's surface. For people within the umbra, or darkest part of the moon's shadow, the light of the sun appears to vanish completely and the sky becomes as dark as night. The second type of solar eclipse is a partial eclipse. A partial eclipse occurs when the sun, moon, and earth are not perfectly aligned, so that the penumbra, or lighter outer portion of the moon's shadow, falls on the earth. In a partial eclipse, part of the sun's surface appears to have a shadow on it. The third type of solar eclipse is an annular eclipse. During an annular eclipse, the moon is at its farthest distance from Earth, making the shadow that falls on the Earth's surface smaller than usual. Because the moon appears smaller, the shadow cannot block all of the sun, and the eclipse will appear like a dark disk in front of the sun. Solar eclipses can only occur during a new moon, as it is the only phase in the lunar cycle when the moon is aligned correctly between the Earth and the sun. Eclipses do not happen every time there is a new moon, however, because the moon's orbit is tilted compared to the Earth's, and so they only align sometimes instead of every month. Solar eclipses are actually fairly regular astronomical events. Between 2 and 5 solar eclipses occur each year, but total solar eclipses only happen about every year and a half. Because the area from which a total eclipse can be seen is so small, however, the chances of an individual eclipse being visible from where you are is very small. A total solar eclipse in your area might be a once-in-a-lifetime event. It is important to remember that looking directly at the sun can hurt your eyes or even cause blindness, so you should avoid looking at the sun during an eclipse unless you have special eye protection or filters to block out the harmful light. If you don't have these filters, you can still observe the eclipse by making a pinhole camera using materials from around your home. Find out when the next solar eclipse will be visible from your area so that you can prepare to observe this exciting astronomical event.
Hello, my lovely student. How are you? I hope all of you are fine. Our lesson today is solar eclipse. But before we start, let's see what's an eclipse. When does it happen? How? Eclipse happen when something passes in front of the sun, like Earth, Moon. So, the Earth or Moon blocking the light of the sun. This is the meaning of eclipse. As you know, Earth rotates around Sun. Moon rotates around Earth. When the Earth, Moon, Sun are in a straight line, so the eclipse happen. If you have a light source like lamp or torch, and you put in front of it opaque object, this opaque object block the light and forms shadow. This shadow may be small or big according to the position of this object. Suppose this light source is the sun, and if the sun, earth, and the moon are in straight line, if the earth is between sun and moon, so the earth blocks the light of the sun and forms shadow on the moon. If the moon is between sun and earth, so the moon blocks the light of the sun from the earth and forms shadow on the earth. As you see in front of you, there are two types of shadow. The darker part of shadow is called umbra, and the faint one is called penumbra. Umbra is the dark inner shadow. Penumbra is the faint outer shadow. Solar eclipse. The word solar means something happened for the sun. Solar eclipse happens when Earth, Moon, and Sun are in a straight line, and the Moon is between Sun and Earth. So it happens when the Moon's shadow covers part of the Earth. There are different types of solar eclipse according to your position on the Earth. These types are total solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse, annular solar eclipse. When Earth, Moon, and Sun are in a straight line, and Moon is between Earth and Sun, and you were on the dark shadow on Earth, so you can't see the Sun completely. Here, the total solar eclipse happen. So the total solar eclipse, it's the type of a solar eclipse in which we cannot see the sun completely, and it's formed in umbra cone of the moon. When Earth, Moon, and Sun are in straight line, but you were on a faint outer shadow or penumbra cone, you see only part of the sun. This means partial solar eclipse happens. So the partial solar eclipse, it's a type of a solar eclipse in which we can see a part of the sun, and it's formed in penumbra cone of moon. The third type of solar eclipse is called annular solar eclipse. In this type, sun appears as a lighting ring. It's formed when the moon is in higher orbit from the earth. So the shadow doesn't reach to the earth. So you see it as a lighted ring. So the annular solar eclipse, it's a type of a solar eclipse in which the sun appears as a lighting ring, and it's formed when the moon is in higher orbit from the earth. So its cone shadow doesn't reach to the earth. Type of solar eclipse you can see according to your place, your position on earth. As you see in front of you, if you were on place A, so you can see total solar eclipse because this umbra cone of the moon. If you were on places B and C, so you can see partial solar eclipse because these faint outer shadow or penumbra. If you were on a place D, you see annular solar eclipse. You can't look directly to the sun during the solar eclipse. Although the moon hides the sun, but the sun still emits harmful radiation like ultraviolet and infrared radiation. And these radiations harm our retina of eye. So what should you do to look to the solar eclipse, to observe the solar eclipse? There are some precautions if you want to observe the solar eclipse. You should to use special glasses to observe the solar eclipse.